Hello and welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back. It's round 10 of the S6RL Racing League here today in France around the Circuit Paul Ricard. We will be having, as usual, full qualifying session followed by a 50% 27-lap race. Weather looking clear for qualifying, a little bit of clouds for the start of the race, but overall very clear as well. We did not get to broadcast the last race in Canada, but here's a rundown of the results. Winning the race, per usual, Granny Boy once again on the top step with the fastest lap of the race. P2, Vapor Cobalt, had the lead of the race for a majority of it, but Granny Boy at the end just had that outright pace. Walker in third with 15 total points. Ricky Star back up to the top. His best finish of the season so far, a P4, 12 points for the Mercedes team, with his teammate of Night Katsy right behind him in fifth with 10 points. Chief Chris, his best result of the season with 8 points. Prince with 6, his best result. And Owen Wilson getting his first points for the Haas team after claiming a full-time seat. DNFing in his first year races, able to get a P8 for Haas in Canada. Revis Island finishing P9 after a sketchy strategy call. 2 points for them. And 1 point for Mooks subbing for the Renault team. Hop on board with some of the drivers. The majority of drivers on outlaps. Right now, leading away from the field, appears Vapor Cobalt, the first driver, out on track here today. Followed closely behind by not Purple Catfish, RV Draco. But we'll watch here, Vapor Cobalt beginning his flying lap. Here at France, 21 turns, you have this partial DRS zone to start your lap. A flat left-right. They started racing here back in 1971, and the track has not really changed much in layout since then. But as you can see, they have redone the entire outskirts of the circuit, adding this new blue, white, red, grippy sort of material to slow the cars down and allow for safer overall racing. The track used to be surrounded by gravel traps. As we watch Cobalt coming into Sector 2 down their long straightaway, a lot of different courses around here. It's known actually as a high-performance test track, actually. Bought in 1991 by Bernie Ecclestone and currently still owned by the Bernie Ecclestone Trust, one of the former managing directors of Formula One. He had a lot of interesting ideas, and this was just a good spot for him to try them out. They stopped racing here actually in 1990 when Ecclestone bought the track in 1999 and revamped all of the facilities around here. And then in 2018, they were able to get a bid successful with the Renault team and a few French drivers on the grid to bring F1 back here to Circuit Paul Ricard, just north of Les Castellets in France. As we watch Vapor Cobalt finishing his lap here, we'll see a few drivers coming across the line to set their times here. We'll see where everybody is. But Vapor Cobalt's going to set the standard with a 1:28.5 for his opening lap. But yeah, there's actually sprinklers installed around this track. It was talked about potentially as an idea for F1 to add the threat of rain to races, be able to create weather to make racing more exciting. Obviously, no idea has been passed yet, or nothing has been passed, but Ecclestone was definitely on the cutting edge of F1, trials and theories. But Vapor Cobalt, a pretty good lap it looks like so far compared to everybody else setting their times. 1:29 for Knowing Light, 1:29.3 for Kronos. Sohan in the Ferrari going P4. Jay Kelly and Prince hopping on board with Ricky Star. As we said, he got his best performance of the season last race in Canada. Last time we saw him, though, he was DNFing at Baku. Definitely a much different sort of layout here than Baku or Canada. Pretty much wide open everywhere. Definitely a lot safer than the tight walls of a street circuit. After 3 straight street circuits, the drivers finally get a few open up courses here. Being at France, then next race on Thursday at Austria, and then round 12 at Silverstone, a track that's been raced at many years and a fixture on the calendar for a lot of our UK race racers. A lot of them are going to be wanting to win this race. Don't have any French drivers on the grid, but we'd love to see the Renaults be able to get on board here and get up on the podium at least. Ricky Star goes P2. We had some fun open lobbies earlier today, practicing around with him. Definitely showing a major improvement in pace is the Mercedes driver. Hopping back on board with HFM Ethan in the Red Bull, a driver who has been steadily improving in just very short time as a driver in the Savior 6 Racing League. Finishing up his first hot lap here. On his second lap on these tires, what's his time going to be? It's good for P7, a 1:30.2. He's going to want to try to go a little bit faster than that. That's probably going to be on the edge of making it in. Fast drivers that still need to set a lap here. Hopping on board, Naikatsi on an invalidated lap right now, and still no lap time on the board for the Mercedes driver. Chief Chris still yet set to set a time. And McHarry on his outlap, about to start a flying lap. Red Bull McHarry. Oh, and Walker has left the session again. Let's see if we can get him back on board here quick. It's McHarry coming through Sector 1 through the very tricky little double right-hander of turn 5 and 6. Then you want to hook that inside curve, so get your car to swing around and keep all that speed possible, as it's going to go all the way down to turn 8. You're opening the DRS here. McHarry going very wide, opening up that next turn as much as possible before you go flat out and try to get as much speed here as well. Flat out all the way through turn 10 and partially into turn 11 before you just slowly try to brake, shifting down to slow your car down, using a lot of engine braking up here in turn 11. Very tricky to find the right line around France here. For me personally, it's very, very difficult. As you see, drifting just perfectly wide, rounding up perfectly on that next curve, swinging around turn 13 into the penultimate corner here of turn 14. See what kind of time he can get on the board here. He's going to have to fly across the line. It looks like it might be decent. The line never seems to come quick enough, but a 1:30.0 for McHarry. His debut in the Williams. P7 subbing for JST here today. Williams could definitely use some points right now. Currently P4 in the Constructors' Championships, but tied with Mercedes, only behind due to Mercedes' better result. Chief Chris on his flying lap, as we saw him coming out of the pits earlier. Hopping on board with him, a Renault in front of him, hopefully going to get out of the way here. Just about. Hopefully, might have messed up with the Ferrari's driver's vision and head a little bit there. As he comes through the penultimate corner, slowing it down for the slowest corner on the circuit, and then trying to get on the power as early as you can without spinning out the car, opening the DRS, running down the line, staying right along that left edge, straightest line possible. P6, Chief Chris, 129.7. right behind his teammate of Soham Matthew. Walker has yet to set a lap. Catfish yet to set a lap, but on a flying lap along with Brogan. We'll hop on board with Catfish, currently on a valid time. Brogan also valid. Walker invalidated his last lap, so he's going to need to go for another lap here. Only 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in this session. Catfish a little bit slower on the pace here. We'll have to see what his time is when he crosses the line. It's a 1:29.6. That should be good to get him in as he splits the Ferraris ahead of him. We'll go hop on board with Brogan Morris in the Haas. As he goes to come across the line, what's the time going to be here for Brogan? P9, 1:29.8. 1:29s across the board. 1 second total between second place and 10th place. Right now at the cutoff, though, Tiburon James, but many drivers still behind, yet to set laps. We have Walker coming through here. Valid lap, and it's going to be a little bit tricky. He definitely overshot that corner. Had to correct the steering. Let's hope it doesn't cost him here. He's still trying to set a time, and he has left the session again. Send him another invite. Granny Boy on his flying lap here. Currently valid at the moment. Night Catsy invalidating his lap time. He's going to be going for a third lap on these tires, trying to set a lap time to get him out of the bottom and get him onto the board. Walker still yet to set a lap time due to some connection issues, apparently. In the Williams. He is in the pits. He will have time to go out and set a fastest lap if he can get back in. Granny Boy, though, coming around the final turn. Gonna switch it back here, way up on what the normal times are here. Normally times are 1:22s. I'm gonna say this is probably good enough for P1. Granny Boy down across the line. It's a 1:27.7. Beating all the other drivers that are there. Night Catsy, though, his lap is currently still valid, but he's not going to have time after this lap to probably go into the pits, change, and get back out. So this may be his only attempt here to try to get out of the bottom and make it into Q2. Revis Island still on a valid lap. Traffic ahead, though. The AlphaTauri getting out of the way there, inside the apex. Revis P7 with a 1:29.4. Walker has now joined. He's going to try to get a lap. Tiburon James, RV Draco, Prince, and Night Catsy. Currently, the drivers that are in trouble, Night Catsy's tires are going to be 4 laps old here. The Softs only last 9 laps in the race. They have to be absolutely dying here. I don't think he's going to have time for another lap here. We'll have to see. RV Draco on an invalidated lap. Tiburon James starting his flying lap right behind Prince. They're very close here for their flying laps. Oh, Prince on an out lap. Sorry, we did miss that. Prince will be going to try to get out of the bottom. Currently, Owen Wilson, the driver on the bubble, still in the pits right now. Hopefully he can get out, get another lap. HFM Ethan on an invalidated lap, so he will have one more attempt here at a flying lap, assuming he has the fuel. Night Catsy going into the pits with 2 minutes left on the clock. I don't think he's going to be able to get back out and around the track in time. Tiburon James still on a valid lap, but currently 2.5 tenths up or down on his previous lap attempt. Too slow, and he cuts that corner. Oh, that's unfortunate for Tiburon James there. That's not a corner you usually see disqualification on. He will have one more attempt on it, though, as RB Draco beginning his flying lap here. We'll see what his time is here at the end of Sector 1. He is currently 2 tenths up on his time. Gonna have to put a little bit more time on the ground. He needs to make up a whole second to get to P15 here. Owen Wilson on an out lap. Night Catsy still in the pit. He is not going to get out to get another lap on the board. RB Draco, though, going to be trying to push Owen Wilson down the bladder. But Owen Wilson will have one more attempt here. RB Draco's time is still valid. Is Tiburon James waiting for the field to clear? He may invalidate a lap time going off circuit here. But RB Draco trying to get through into Q2 here. Gonna have to have a banger Sector 3 coming up here. Your tires overloaded from all the fast, hard turns here. Very high-speed circuit, 5.8 kilometers. One of the longer circuits on the calendar. Just a hair shorter than Baku at 6.0 kilometers. But Draco coming through the final turn. Can he go fast enough? He's gonna have to try to get into the 129s to make it through, I'd say. Draco up to the line. Is it good enough? No, it's faster, but not fast enough for Draco. He will have another potential lap if he can go for it, if he saved up enough ERS. We're hopping back on board with Prince here, coming through Sector 2. Owen Wilson also on the backstretch on his hot lap right now. Owen Wilson currently still safe. The only driver who could knock him out here would be Prince. Night Catsy is not going to make it, and Prince has slowed up. So I believe that means Owen Wilson will make it through. Unless RB Draco can go faster. He is 1/10 up on his fastest lap right now. And Walker on a fastest lap as well can knock him out. Let's see where Owen Wilson's time is looking like. We'll see if Walker or RB Draco can go fast enough to knock either of them out. If Owen Wilson goes faster, McHarry will be the driver on the bubble in the Williams. And McHarry is able to go to P7. He goes faster, so now Brogan would be the driver in the bubble. Owen Wilson trying to knock his teammate down to the bubble spot. Can he go faster? No, he cannot. So it's going to come down to Draco and Walker. Walker with a decent enough lap here. He's going to come across the line, connection issues and all. Able to get a lap on the board. It's P2 for Walker. Can Draco go faster? He can, but not fast enough. P18 for Draco, a 130.5. And that means Brogan is safe by the skin of his teeth, as Owen could not go faster on that out lap. I believe that is the end of Q here. We hop on board. Actually, it's letting Night Catsy go for a lap here. He's 6/10 up. If it counts this lap, he will knock Brogan Morris out of the session. He will knock both Haas's out if it lets him complete this lap. He started it, I believe, after the timer went. But for some reason, it is going to let him complete this lap, I believe. Night Catsy in the Mercedes, P17. Coming to the line here. What's it going to put him? It's going to move him up to P10. A lap after the qualifying session was finished. So we wait. All drivers retired. All we need is for McHarry to retire from the session. And there we go. Moving into Q2. Walker able to get in and get a lap on the board at the death of it, along with Night Catsy. I don't know if it was a legal lap, but the game let him do it. Able to get out of Q into Q2 by the skin of his teeth, but knocking Brogan Morris and Owen Wilson, the Haas's, down to 16th and 17th. both of them knocked out early. Draco in the AlphaTauri in 18th. Prince down with Renault in 19th. Be amazing to see a Renault performance. Renault getting on the podium here at their home Grand Prix. And Tiburon James in the McLaren in P20. 5 milliseconds behind Prince. Very good racing overall, with HMF Ethan making it into Q2 by 2 milliseconds over Brogan Morris. He's going to hope to improve on that and get himself into Q3 for the Red Bull team, giving Granny Boy some help at the top. His teammate only getting the points once all year. And here we are now, Q2 here at France. The Ferrari is the first out of the garage. I believe Sohan Matthew is the first one out. No. It is the Williams of McCary getting out nice and early here. Now, these are the tires you will be starting the race on. We didn't talk a lot about tires, but these are the medium set, the C4, C3, C2 compounds. So the second hardest set, the medium range for the F1. Soft tires going about 9 laps here, but losing grip very early. You definitely, the ideal tire to be starting this race on will be the mediums, going 14 laps, giving you a lot more options as you go on the race. 27 lap race. You can go soft to hard, but it's very tricky without a safety car. But yeah, medium tires, definitely ideal here to start the race on. Medium tires are 1.1 seconds on average slower than the softs. Hards, 1.7 seconds slower than the softs. So a pretty big drop off between the different tire compounds here. The soft can be very fast, so it'll be very tricky for some of these higher running drivers to set their fastest laps on those medium tires. So you see about half the grid out on the medium tires, a little more than half. All the ones on softs are still in the pits. The only people out on softs right now are the 2 Mercedes drivers of Knight Catsy and Ricky Starr. But with older tires, softs going 9 laps, the mediums 14, the hards 18. Soft to hard should get you 27 laps, but if you're qualifying on those softs, you're taking about 2 to 3 laps of energy out of those tires, which is why it's basically almost impossible. You're going to have to be very close to puncture territory and be losing a lot of speed if you're starting the race on those softs in the top 10. The ideal starting spot for some of these guys may be P11, giving them free choice of tire and a brand new tire at that, opening up the strategy for them quite a bit. As we watch McCary in the Williams, setting a very good lap at the end of Q1 to get himself here into Q2. On his debut for the Williams team, as we mentioned before, subbing for JSD, trying to help Walker out in their battle against Mercedes and the constructors. Very quiet, very lonely right now. McCary being followed by Vapor Cobalt. All these drivers on the medium tires will have to keep an eye on the Mercedes drivers of Knight Catsy and Ricky Starr on the soft tires. See what kind of times they can set here. And look at this beautiful circuit. Stunning. The French flag colors, not in the right order, but the French flag nonetheless. Yellow flag in Sector 2. Mercedes pulling out of the way, DSQing their lap. Not quite sure who it is. We'll hop on board after, see if we can figure out if it's Ricky Starr or Knight Catsy. Knight Catsy was having some pretty big issues with DSQing here, but McCary is going to come across the line. It's a 130.8. I don't think that's going to be fast enough. And yes, it was Knight Catsy DSQing his lap. Currently ahead of Ricky Starr on a hot lap. May try to give him a little bit of slipstream here. Hopefully doesn't hold his teammate up. He's going to go for 2 laps on the soft tires. Now, you will have to start the race on these tires if he can set a fastest lap here. Let's see the time for Ricky Starr. It's P2 for Ricky Starr. 129.5, a 129.4 for Cobalt on the medium tires, faster than his Q1 time on the softs. A very good lap from Cobalt. He may be able to get through on those medium tires with that lap and that kind of pace. Few other drivers on outlaps. We know Knight Catsy will be trying to go for a hot lap here, but he is invalidated once again. He needs to pit this lap. He does not want to start the race on 3 or 4 lap old soft tires. Almost goes into the back of Knight Catsy, or back of Sohan. Knight Catsy almost goes into. Revis Island on an outlap. Do we have anybody else? Hash on an outlap in Sector 1 right now. The Renault driver waiting for the traffic to clear. It's saying purple Sector 1, but we don't believe that ever, especially in qualifying as it changes rapidly. The Renault of Hash getting his full-time seat not too long ago. I'm not able to make the last race, but in Spain and Baku, the last 2 races he made, he was P5. So let's see if we can get at least that P5 here again, or if not, improving upon it. With the Renault team, they definitely want to do well here. Such a beautiful sounding car. Unfortunately, last year, we will see them known as Renault, as they will be changing to the Alpine racing team next year. And in black, red, and blue colored livery, appears Hash has DSQ'd his lap. So we'll watch on board HMF Ethan starting his hot lap. Revis Island has invalidated his on the soft tires. HFF Ethan is going to be going for a hot lap on the soft tires. Chief Chris on an out lap on those soft tires as well. Those soft tires will provide about a second advantage over the mediums, which will give these drivers towards the bottom a realistic chance of getting into the top 10. We watched the Red Bull. HFM Ethan still yet to get a point, but definitely have seen a very solid improvement in pace from the Red Bull driver. Granny Boy only with, like we said before, 1 teammate all year getting points for the Red Bull team. Other than that, Granny Boy has been carrying the load. HMF Ethan trying to change that here as he comes through Sector 3 here. Going to be trying to nail these last couple turns, get a good time on the board. He is on those soft tires. If he can nail it, he can go fastest. Looking like might be in the 130s. Not an ideal time as he invalidates on the final turn. Unfortunate for Ethan, as Revis has pit onto the... It's showing the medium tires. Oh, he is out on the medium tires, yet to set a lap. Catfish, McCary in the pits, their fastest lap on these soft tires. Knight Catsy pitting for a new set of softs. Revis Island in the McLaren, not as well as he was last year, but he's starting to find a little bit of form. Not as well in Canada, but the races before, getting solid points. Not DNFing since Bahrain. Getting points in every race since then. The McLaren driver starting to slowly find his footing a little bit back. Competition a little bit tougher this year. As the McLaren driver coming through the final couple of turns here. Will he be able to go fast enough on these medium tires? It doesn't look like it's going to be a very quick time here. Around McCary or Purple Catfish this time, I would say. Angling instead of going straight, losing precious seconds, and it's behind Sohan Matthew. Don't think that's fast enough for the McLaren driver. These drivers absolutely abusing the rules of the road, sending polystyrene all over the track. And Knight Catsy starting his flying lap now. Let's see if he can keep it clean and not invalidate. He has invalidated the last couple times. Very big issues with the invalidation so far for Knight Catsy, lagging a little bit on the track, hopefully not affecting the drivers around him, as he comes roaring down the back straight. The McLaren of Revis Island just up the road from him, gonna go straight on, get out of the way, and a yellow flag. Looks like the Ferrari just slowing down, getting out of the way. trying not to give the Alpha any slipstream. Night Catsy still on a valid time. Yellow flag in Sector 2. The Ferrari and the Sauber trying to figure out who should go first here. Maybe on low fuel. And Chief Chris, yes, he is low fuel right now. See those yellow lights flashing on the dash? That means he is out of fuel. But we'll hop back on board here with Knight. Comes around the final turn, looking like a pretty decent time. This should be faster than the lap we just saw from Rivas. Should be the 129s, low 129s here, I'd say. Coming across the line, the Mercedes driver. It's a 129.7. And the Mercedes, both on the soft tires, able to get up the leaderboard. But on the soft tires, Night Catsy's still pushing, it looks like. He should be trying to conserve tires at this point because those softs do not last very long at all. Chief Chris trying to get around the circuit. Hopping on board with Hash. I believe, yes, he is on a flying lap. Will it be fast enough? I don't believe so. Yeah, it looks like he's going to come across in the low 130s to 131s. Don't believe it will be fast enough to start the race on these medium tires. 130.5, it's P8 right now, but there's still quite a few drivers yet to set a time. Walker on his out lap, about to start his first flying lap. Granny Boy on his first flying lap on these medium tires. These drivers have shown the pace all year. Let's see if they can capitalize here in France and get out on those medium tires as Ricky Star goes fastest overall, a 128.6. Ricky Star leading the way, showing the pace in those soft tires. A lot of these soft people can hop out onto a set of softs right now and probably go pretty quick as the track begins to rubber in as the day goes on. More and more hot laps being done. Granny Boy going to come to the line here. Believe this should be top 5, top 4 at least. P2 for Granny Boy, a 129.0. That will get him through into Q3 on those medium tires. Hop back on board. Jay Kelly coming across the line. 2-lap old mediums. He won't be able to get to the pits and do another lap. He's going to have to go fastest right here. It's 130.2. It is in right now, but will it be in at the end of Q2? We will wait and find out.
Elbow car.
Walker coming through Sector 3, trying to finish his lap on these medium tires. He will not be able to pit and change tires. So close to an invalidation. That would have been heartbreak for Walker without a lap time on the board. He's going to come down to the line, staying left, staying as straight as possible to the line. What's it going to be for Walker? It's P2, faster than Granny Boy. Both of them on the medium tires are going to get through. Cobalt should get through. Night Catsy should be through on those soft tires. Few drivers out on hot laps right now on these soft tires. HFM Ethan being one of these drivers. Traffic in front getting well out of the way there. You're driving by the Red Bull and the Mercedes, getting out of the way from the Red Bull. HFM Ethan on these soft tires should provide a decent pace advantage. Jay Kelly currently the man on the bubble on those mediums. 2-lap old, he will not be able to pit here onto a new set of tires. So unless he's going for another hot lap here, will not be able to improve upon that time. HFM Ethan going to come down the final run, drifting a little bit right, hopefully not costing him. And at P5, he knocks Jay Kelly out. Rivas Island in the pits on those medium tires. As you see all the commotion in the pits, the Mercedes car coming in, the AlphaTauri coming in, Rivas getting out onto those medium tires. He's going to go out for another lap on these medium tires. He's going to take a lot of life out of them. Catfish on a flying lap on the backstretch coming to the end of Sector 2. Let's see what his time is looking like right now. He's currently almost a second up on his fastest lap. That would get him into the top 10 here. Kronos retires from session. In the pits, unable to be able to get out and set another lap time here. We'll see what Catfish can do. Catfish definitely looking very quick right now on his time. Chief Chris at the end of Sector 1 is 0.6 up on his time. Rivas Island may have made a mistake going out on those medium tires again. Hash gonna have 45 seconds to get to the line to set a fastest lap, but we watch Purple Catfish coming around the final corner. Can he get across the line? Can he improve and get into the top 10 here on those soft tires? He can. P4 for Catfish, a 1:29.2. As we hop on board, a few other drivers right now out on flying laps. We'll hop Rivas out. Rivas is on an out lap, but not on a flying lap right now. So the only driver on a flying lap, a few drivers trying to set faster lap times here. We'll see if Rivas decides to go into the pits or not. Rivas is going to go for another lap on those medium tires. Not a lot of time, though, for these guys. Sohan right on the back of Rivas. Oh, they're all over each other. They're still running out of time. Sohan is going to get across the line just in the nick of time, but he's all over the back of Rivas. He might not be able to improve. Both drivers outside the top 10 right now. Chief Chris coming to the line here. Can he improve enough to get himself into the top 10? He does. It's P4 for Chief Chris, a 1:29.1. These soft tires absolutely lighting up the timing charts. Currently 3 drivers on flying laps right now. Sohan has invalidated though, so it's going to come down to Rivas and Hash trying to bump out Knowing Light, but Knowing Light is also on a flying lap, so it's looking to try to bump out Knowing Light and Night Catsy. Knowing Light's going to be the only driver that has a chance to improve upon that. Hash currently a second up on his time. Vapor Cobalt could be in trouble here. Vapor Cobalt on those medium tires, he's looking like he could be in trouble. If Knowing Light improves, and Hash and Rivas can go faster, Knowing Light is in a lot of trouble. This track has improved drastically throughout this session. The first driver that's going to get to the line here will be Rivas Island. His time coming across the line, will it be fast enough? It's going to be very tight. I don't know if it will be. Decided to go out on these used mediums, and softs would have definitely gotten through. It's P10, not enough to get ahead of Cobalt, as Knowing Light goes faster. And Vapor Cobalt sneaks in on those medium tires by the skin of his teeth. Hash going faster, Knowing Light going faster, and Vapor Cobalt making it into Q3 over Night Catsy by 0.3 of a second. Oh, now Cobalt probably starting to sweat there a little bit towards the end. Starting outside the top 10 would not have been ideal for the Racing Point driver, with his worst finish all season being P4. Would have been very interesting to see what he could do, though. But currently waiting HFM Ethan to retire. Once we do that, we will be advancing to Q3. And here we are, Q3 for the French Grand Prix. This will be the race to see who is the true fastest driver on the grid. These tires will not be their starting race tires. They can go as fast and as hard as they need to, get them as up to temperature as much as they need to, and it will be very interesting. Sorry, I sound like I'm repeating myself right now. Trying to work on it. Chief Chris, probably one of the surprises. A few of these drivers, though, setting those times on the soft tires at the very end. Be very risky for the start of the race here. But currently, 2 Red Bulls, 2 Williams, 2 Racing Points, all getting through. Purple Catfish carrying the AlphaTauris, Chief Chris carrying Ferrari, Ricky Star in the Mercedes, and Hash in the Renault. So we watch many of the drivers coming out here for flying laps. Walker letting past Granny Boy. They seem to be racing each other on their outlap here. Looks like Walker may be trying to get some slipstream on the back of Granny Boy. We have the Q3 session here. Doo-doo. Currently, Chief Chris going to be the last driver out of the pits, but every driver coming out of the pits as we speak. Hopefully these drivers not going to get in the way of their partners. HFM Ethan may be trying to give Granny Boy some slipstream here. Is Walker going wide, trying to get out behind all this traffic. Ideally, you'd imagine you'd like to be out in front, but we will hop on board with Granny Boy. We haven't really seen him much throughout qualifying. But one of the fastest drivers, this could be an ideal time for pole, but very easy to invalidate around here, especially trying to keep the pace and the throttle flat out. 78% full throttle around this circuit with 21 total turns. Granny Boy, decent through the first chicane, then coming through this right, left, right. Turning into a double right-hander, which you want to get as much speed as early as possible so you can get on the power early. And for this long back straight, never seem to end, adding a little chicane in it just to slow the cars down to prevent major accidents. The fastest F1 crash here actually happened back in 1986 during a testing session. Forget the name of the driver, but yeah, broke his rear wing, breaking off, crashing out, and the driver ended up losing his life. Part of the reason they stopped racing here in 1990, they shortened the track actually as well, removing the flat out sections. The track went from 5.9 kilometers to 3.8. And after the renovations by Burnham,
Cobalt and Granty. Vapor Boys vaporized.
Granny Boy coming around the final turn. Looks like a decent time right now. We're going to have to see, will he be into the 127s? No, it's a 128.2 from Granny Boy. He's going to feel like he probably can go quite a bit faster than that for himself. 129.5 from Catfish. We hop back on board. Walker invalidated his lap. He's going to go for another flying lap right away. Hopefully the drivers ahead do realize he's going for a hot lap here. Catfish getting out of the way, noticing just in the nick of time. Knowing Light comes across the line, a 128.8 for him. And Cobalt with a 128.4 in the racing point. Pole time, we'll have to see if they can get into the 127s and get to set the really good pole position time. But right now, currently the fastest time is Granny Boy. Walker on 2-lap old tires, though. Be nice if we had another Vapor driver here, Hayden. Hint, hint, wink, wink. As Walker coming through into the final couple of turns here through Sector 3. One of the more technical bits, probably the most technical sector on the circuit. Very hard to find this correct line. The Williams trying to get up in the constructor standings. We thought it would be a battle between Granny Boy and Walker, but Walker has had quite a few DNFs. Let's see if he can get a pole position here, get out ahead of everybody, and have a good start to his race. Coming through the final turn. Looks like it might be a touch slower than Granny Boy. These tires 1 lap older. Coming to the line, it isn't. It's a 127.8 from Walker. We are into the 127s as Walker on 2-lap old soft tires, able to go fastest overall. What a lap by the Williams driver. Setting the bar very high for Granny Boy and Cobalt to try to match. Ricky Star currently in P4. Hatch P5. Knowing Light in P6. Catfish P7, McHarry on his debut in P8, Chief Chris and HFM Ethan yet to set a time. But HFM Ethan does appear to be on a hot lap right now. Chief Chris has invalidated his time, and he will be going back to the pits here to get some more fuel, I believe. But the Red Bull trying to get up there and help his teammate Granny Boy out. It's a little bit like the Albon Verstappen situation with these Red Bull drivers. Can't seem to find one to match the pace of Verstappen and i.e. Granny Boy. But yeah, very interesting. Same with the Williams. It's like Russell and Latifi. It's two totally different levels of driver. One for skill, one for pay. HFM Ethan trying to prove everybody wrong though and go faster. Let's see what the time is. It's a 1:30 flat. Getting ahead of the Williams of McHarry. I think HFF Ethan would be very happy if he can get another lap and sneak up into maybe 5th position. If he can improve by about 0.2, he can maybe sneak into 5th position. But very interesting to see, Chief Chris has returned to the pits. All drivers currently in the pits, Knowing Light coming into the pits as well. Currently the only driver out on circuit is Purple Catfish in the AlphaTauri, followed closely behind now by Ricky Star, as HFM Ethan is going to be returning to the pits, strapping on a new set and potentially going for another flying lap to try to improve upon his time. Purple Catfish in the AlphaTauri ended up DNFing last race after missing the previous race, but he did have that podium in Monaco. 28 points through rounds 5 through 7 for Purple Catfish. Going to try to get back to that form after DNFing last race and missing the previous race at Baku. We'll see what Purple Catfish can do here now that we are back to the wide open flowing circuits of Circuit Paul Ricard. A lot of people do not like this track for actual F1 racing, but in the video game world and in simulation racing, it's not a bad track to race at. A lot of different lines you can take, very wide, allows for a lot of overtaking opportunities. Still have to be a little bit smart about that, but overall, a very fun race to watch. It's Purple Catfish coming around the final turn to start his flying lap. A couple cars coming out of the pits, hopefully do not get in the way. Both of the racing points coming out of the pits. The Mercedes coming through for a hot lap as well, as Catfish has already DNF'd his lap. Will hop backwards on board with Ricky Star in the Mercedes. Currently fastest, 4th overall, 2nd row of the grid behind the 3 medium qualifiers. A 1:28.7 for Ricky Star. I think he'll be very happy with that, but still going to try to improve. A lot of the drivers behind may be able to go quite a bit quicker. Be very interesting to see the pace of these drivers around here in the race versus their qualifying pace, as it will be two completely different setups. See which drivers were built more for qualifying and more for tire management during the race. The little chicane down on the backstretch. Just adding a layer of safety here for the drivers and an extra overtaking opportunity as well, before you go flat out into the right-hander through Sector 3. As all the drivers currently out on track, Walker, Granny Boy, and Hash, the only drivers in the pits. Hash is the only driver in the pits now, as Granny Boy pulling out as we speak. But Ricky Star trying to go fast, using almost all the track. It's not going to be quick. He must have messed up somewhere. Currently not a very quick lap for Ricky Star. He's probably going to go for another hot lap here. Not going to beat his previous time, so let's see what he can do here. Catfish going to be starting a flying lap for himself here as well. His 3rd lap on these soft tires. We'll have to see what Purple Catfish can do. Drivers behind also on hot laps. Knowing Light up ahead of Cobalt, or Knowing Light trying to drag off Cobalt. Race points trying to help each other out just a bit. Maybe get just that little bit of slipstream to help out Connor. Hash is on an out lap. Only 1:12. He might not get to the line in time at the rate he's going. Be very close for the Renault driver. He's going to have to push all the way down to the line just to be able to get his time on the board. Cobalt has invalidated his time, so he will not be going faster. Catfish trying to get back to the line to go for another hot lap here as well. Cutting the chicane and going ahead of Knowing Light here. Knowing Light still on a valid lap. Didn't catch his end of Sector 2 time. Sector 3 time looking decent enough. Probably not up in the top 3. Might be able to beat Ricky Star, though. Be very interesting. As Knowing Light goes wide, he is not going to improve. That's going to be a DSQ on his lap. Getting out of the way of Purple Catfish. And Knowing Light going into the pits. He will not improve on his time. Cobalt has retired from the session. Ricky Star will not be setting another time. He has invalidated his time. We hop on board with Walker. 3/10 up on his time right now. We'll hop back to Granny Boy. See what his time, and Granny Boy invalidates. Granny Boy has invalidated. That means Walker will have P1 for the start of the French Grand Prix. His, I believe, first pole of the season for the Williams driver. An unbelievable first lap. Put the pressure on Granny Boy here, and Walker still may yet improve. Taking every inch of track he possibly can. Let's see what his time can be. He might be able to get into the 126s potentially. He is doing absolutely everything right now. Here we go, Walker. Through Sector 3. Can you absolutely nail it? Can you put it together? He doesn't know Granny Boy hasn't validated, so he's going to push to the end. Going to swing around this final corner. It looks like a really good time right now. Walker's going to come down to the line. What's it going to be for the Williams? 127.3 from Walker. Unreal. Final lap. Hatch has invalidated, and Purple Catfish is currently the only other driver on a hot lap. Currently 100th up on his fastest lap. These tires are very old right now, so it's going to be very difficult for him to improve. If he had a new set of tires, he might have been able to go faster, but he's just trying to get up ahead of Chief Chris right now. Can he do it? Coming to the line, Purple Catfish. He does. He jumps HMF Ethan as well. A 129.2, nailing the final turn and going fast enough to move him up to the 4th row of the grid. P8 for Catfish on 4-lap old soft tires. What a final lap, and what a race it should be. Walker P1, Granny Boy P2, Cobalt P3, all on the medium tires. The drivers behind will be on the softs and should have a much better getaway. Ricky Star P4 for the Mercedes, keeping up his hot streak. Hash up to P5, sneaking into Q3 on his final Q2 lap. Knowing Light down in P6, McCary P7, Catfish P8 on those old softs. HFM Ethan is able to go with a 129.4, getting off the 10th position for the Red Bull, and in 9th, we'll have the outside line. And Chief Chris, P10 for the Ferraris. Not ideal. If you're P9 or P10, you'd probably rather be in P11 or 12, having that free choice of tire, and even just at that, a brand new tire versus these used softs that they will be starting the race on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Hayden and Capitano, welcome in to the formation lap here, Savior 6 Racing League, round 10, around the circuit Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix, just north of Lake Castellet in France. Very clear weather day, light clouds, but should clear up as the race progresses here today. Qualifying went pretty well. A lot of corner cutting. Will be some definite discussions in the stewards room. But today we have Walker on pole. His first pole of the season for the Williams, showing some pretty good pace around here. We'll have to see if he can pull out of Granny Boy's DRS, as HFM Ethan has left the session. Try to get him an invite. Granny Boy, P2, sharing the front row, but in P2, not a spot he's used to being. Hopefully doesn't get swallowed up here. Actually, this is Walker's second. Last time he was on pole, he was able to win the race even after lagging out. So we'll see if he can even pull a bigger gap here in France today. Vapor Cobalt in P3, sharing the second row with Ricky Star in the Mercedes. Hash of Loretto P5 with Knowing Light in the Racing Point P6. McCary on his debut for the Williams, P7 for Williams. Purple Catfish in the AlphaTauri, making it into Q3, getting up to P8 on his final lap of qualifying. HFM Ethan in the Red Bull, 2 Red Bulls in the top 10 for the second time all season. Chief Chris in P10 for Ferrari. Knight Katzi in the Mercedes, P11. Rebus Island, the leading McLaren right now, in P12. D2E Kronos in P13. We didn't mention him much at all throughout qualifying. We'll see what he can do in the race today, showing some decent qualifying pace, struggling here today. Sohan Matthew in P14. Why are you ghosted? I think they're good. Jay Kelly, P15. Brogan and Owen Wilson in the Haas's, 16th and 17th. Draco in 18th in the AlphaTauri. Prince in the Renault P19, and Tiburon James rounds out our grid in P20. As we watch the getaway here, Walker in P1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. Oh, God. Go! Walker with a decent getaway here at the start of the race. It's saying Tiburon James is in first. Don't know what happened there. But Walker currently P1. Granny Boy in P2, 3 on the getaway. The drivers coming around through the first couple of turns. Ghosting on track as we wait for HFM Ethan to take control of his Red Bull. Drivers getting through pretty quickly here. Tiburon James has now left the session. As they are all bunched up here, going down the back stretch. They're 4 wide. Oh, there's not enough space for them, is there? Oh, the Red Bull sideways. The Red Bull of HFM Ethan has spun and lost his front wing. Will that be a safety car? No safety car yet. HFM Ethan going straight on there. Don't see a time penalty. Most of the drivers getting through decently clean here. HFM Ethan, no front wing right now. The biggest mover of the day, though, Brogan Morris, up 6 positions on the first lap of the race. We will ignore Tiburon James, as that was some sort of glitch. He left the lobby, will be getting DSQ'd from the race. HFM Ethan has left the session now. We'll see if he wants an invite to get back in, see what happened, as his driver does pit. Quite a few drivers pitting here. Hash in P6, knowing like getting past him somehow. We didn't see the move, but now everything is starting to sort itself out. Sohan Matthew closing out on the back of Brogan, trying to get up to the drivers behind, see what kind of tires these drivers are on. You can see these soft tire runners going to be really struggling here in a couple of laps, but for now, they're going to try to hang on to the drivers ahead, as Hash is going to go for a move on Knowing Light into the chicane. Is he going to go for it? No, he's going to play it smart, back out. He didn't have the move. He would have had to dive bomb him and played it very safe there. No need to go for a move this early. As Brogan and Sohan side by side through the chicane. Who's going to get the position into the sweeping right-hander? Brogan will have the inside line here. Will Sohan be able to keep the power flat out longer? They go into the chicane. It's touch and go. Sohan gets the move done, and Brogan almost runs it, trying to fight back down the inside. A little bit of wing damage, I think, there from Brogan. They are battling side by side around the entire track right now. Brogan and Sohan back and forth. The Ferrari and the Mercedes, both on these medium tires. Oh my goodness, through all of Sector 3, they're side by side. What a phenomenal race. They're just about going to get around the turn, and Sohan gets the outside line, gets the better traction. Unbelievable racing there as Granny Boy hanging out back behind Walker, conserving the ERS. All three of these drivers going to try to hang on to one another throughout the race, pull themselves forward. It might just be all about penalties. Drivers who had to pit after first lap incidents: Jay Kelly, Knight Catsy, HFM Ethan, D2E Kronos, and Ricky Star, all having to pit at the start of the race. D2E Kronos onto the hards, all the other drivers pitting onto the medium tires. We have a few drivers through the back of the field. Catfish closing up on this back as this train starts to begin to form here through the field. As Brogan Moore's trying to get back here at Sohan into the chicane, not going to get a good enough exit. Both drivers using a lot of their ERS throughout that battle on the previous lap. Hopping back up to Granny Boy. He is all over the back of Walker right now. We'll have to see what these drivers can do, if they're going to try to go for overtakes or just try to hold station and pull away from the rest of the field. Currently, Knowing Light is falling back a little, 2.5 seconds behind Vapor Cobalt. Tiburon James' car is ghosted right now. He will be DSQ'd, so we can assume he is not in the field, which means Brogan currently P10. Brogan is currently in P10. But currently, gaps starting to form. Nobody using any of their overtake. Keeping it nice and easy. Walker almost wanting Granny Boy to potentially go by. Letting Walker go for an undercut if he needs on Granny Boy. Be very difficult. The undercut will be very powerful around here, especially if there is no safety car. But Cobalt riding the back of Granny Boy. These three drivers look like they're pretty equal on pace here. Walker should get some free DRS from Tiburon James here. So he opens the DRS. It's going to help him stay ahead of Granny Boy for at least one more lap. Will Granny Boy go for a move? He's going to go to the outside, play it safe. The McLaren not making anything easy for these guys up here. So they start slowly getting past Tiburon James. Tiburon James will be disqualified from the race. As Knowing Light's going to try to maybe go around the outside. Oh no, Hash gets up the inside of Knowing Light. Knowing Light was starting to fall off of the leaders. Just doesn't seem to have the pace right now. He may have had more of that qualifying setup as we spoke about. Knowing Light already 6/10 behind Hash, and Purple Catfish all over the back of him. Rebus Island down to 14th, starting the race on those hard tires. Prince in the Haas's actually are in 11th to 12th right now. Pretty good start from the both of them. Granny Boy coming to the back of Walker. Is he going to go for a move here? He's got DRS. No, he's going to play it easy. He knows he can use that when he needs to. He's not being pressured by Cobalt right now. He still has the room to play with. If Cobalt starts trying to go for overtakes on him, though, it may force Granny to try to overtake Walker here as the drivers come through for lap 5 of the French Grand Prix. Clean racing so far. The start was a little bit confusing, but we're starting to sort ourselves out here. Catfish on the back of Knowing Light here. We'll have to see who can get the better exit here. If Purple Catfish can get a really good exit, he might be able to chase down Knowing Light with the use of DRS. Knowing Light, will he have DRS himself? He does, but Catfish gets an amazing run. They're going to come down here into the braking zone for this fast chicane. Who's going to brake later? Catfish gets the inside line. It's going to become the inside now for Knowing Light, but Catfish and Walker has spun. We didn't see what happened. Walker has spun. Being pressured by Granny Boy and Cobalt, he has spun out And the Williams is going to have to try to come back. He is still on these mediums, but they are going to be much overheated right now. As Sohan, will he try to go for a move on Walker? He is. He's going to go down the inside of Walker. Walker with wing damage right now. We didn't catch the incident. Unless, hopefully he just lost it on his own. I can't see Granny Boy or Cobalt getting in contact with him. But, oh, Walker starting on pole and spinning out, whether it was self-imposed or not, we'll never know. We might be able to talk to him after the race. But he is going to be heartbroken. He did everything he needed to, got out in front, was leading the race. And Walker is into the pits. Going to probably try to strap on the hards. The hards will go 18 laps. So he will probably need a safety car, as Vapor Cobalt now has a penalty, meaning Granny Boy's lead is now 4 seconds on the rest of the field, as Prince, under pressure, getting past Owen Wilson. And Brogan will be next up the road for him. Chief Chris with Sohan Matthew trying to close in on him. Catfish, though. Oh, that's just Tiburon James. Hash is currently up to P3. We couldn't see that Renault podium we were hoping for this race. Sohan Matthew closing in on Chris. He's got DRS. He may be attacking Chief Chris here. Those soft tires are going to definitely be starting to go off just a little bit here towards the as this race continues. And now what Walker needs is that safety car. Hopefully help him out back to pack the pack back up and help him get another attack to maybe get back out into the lead. But right now Catfish is closing in on Hash. We saw Hash, his did an extra lap on those soft tires in Q2. We'll have to see if Catfish can take advantage of a 1 lap newer softs, and he doesn't. He's going to go into the pits right behind Hash. Both drivers getting in clean, no speeding penalty, knowing light into the pits. These soft tire runners all going to the pits, except for Chief Chris. He's going to stay out, try to go for an overcut on these soft tires. Probably going to try to make it a one-stop onto hards. The other drivers strapping on the medium tires for Hash. Let's see what Knowing Light's going on to. Knowing Light going on to another set of softs, so differing strategies here. And Catfish on the medium tires. Revis on those hard tires up into 9th. Drivers behind already making pit stops, though. And that's currently have Granny Boy leading the field. Cobalt behind him in P2. Sohan Matthew in P4 for Ferrari. Chief Chris P5 on those soft tires. Brogan P6 for the Haas team. He is up 10 positions right now. Sohan Matthew is up 10 positions. And Prince is up 12 positions. A lot of big movers. The top 10 all gaining positions. The bottom 10 all losing positions. Perfectly balanced grid order right now. But very unfortunate for a lot of these drivers. If you lost positions at the start, you are now outside the top 10. If you gain positions, you're inside the top 10. D2E Kronos is now pushing, gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Owen Wilson trying to close in on Prince here. Gets a much better run. Will he go down the inside into the sweeping right-hander? He's going to go down the inside. The Haas driver gets it done. What a move by Owen Wilson. He caught Prince napping, and he's able to get down the inside as Catfish is all over the back of Haas. These drivers battling for net P3 right now. Net P3 for Hash and Purple Catfish of these soft runners. This is a podium position battle. We'll have to see if any of the other drivers ahead.
I came second around here for my league race today in full wet conditions. Me and my teammate won by 4-0-6. Well, come back and let's see you do it here. Emoji wink.
Catfish gonna have DRS on Hash. Will Hash have the DRS from the driver ahead? Catfish using all the overtake he has left, opening the DRS. Will it get him close enough? I don't think it will here. Turns off the overtake. He's gonna let Hash have the position for the time being, as Prince is trying to get back at Owen Wilson. After Prince was able to pass him, Owen Wilson able to get back past him with a sweeping right-hander of turn 11. currently. Decent spacing throughout the field. Pretty decent battles everywhere. Ricky Start getting past Kronos. Prince currently one of the closest drivers. This battle, though, as the teammate of Purple Catfish may try to hold up Hash here, may allow Prince to attack him. Draco currently in a points-paying position. He would love to be there, but he still has to make a pit stop. Hash gonna pull away, trying to get past Draco, but Draco using overtake to stay ahead here, trying to do everything he can for Catfish to help him keep this position. So we see a fastest lap, I believe that was from Walker. A 1:32.9 from the Williams driver. He is going to be a man on a mission here. Currently 42 seconds back from the leaders. But if he can close this up and get an opportune safety car. Catfish has retired from the session. We didn't catch what happened, but Catfish is out of the race. And that's a virtual safety car. And that is going to be opportune for Granny Boy and Cobalt to throw on a set of hard tires. It'll be iffy to the end of the race. Oh, goodness gracious. Wonder what happened. Probably some sort of collision. We did see the battling between Hash and Draco. Purple Catfish right behind that battle. Not sure what happened. But Granny Boy and Cobalt are going to get free pit stops here. See if any of these drivers behind are going to the pits. So Matthew into the pits. Going to probably try to strap on a set of hards here. Brogan into the pits. And Owen Wilson going to follow his teammate into the pits. They're going to double stack at the Haas. And that's a drive-through penalty for Draco. Exactly what he didn't need there. Speeding under the safety car. But it's not showing a drive-through penalty on my screen right now. So we'll assume that there is none for the time being. But that would be very unfortunate for Draco. He's currently in the pits. Rebus Island up to P5. Prince in P4. Rebus Island on the same tire as the leaders now, but will have to pit. Prince and Hash, the Renos, in P4 and P6 right now. A few of these drivers still needing to make their stops, though. Prince and Rebus, the only drivers not to stop so far, along with Draco. Tibro and James, we will be ignoring, as a lot of drivers starting to rack up some time penalties here as well. Towards the bottom of the field as the drivers are trying to push. We have Walker closing in on the back of Chief Chris. He's going to be trying to potentially go for an overtake here. Walker's going to do everything he can here to get past these slower driving cars, try to utilize his pace and catch back up to a gap to where he can get the leaders. We saw that pace in qualifying. Can he put it back together in the race, get back up to a podium position here? Something to watch as Granny Boy gets free DRS from the driver ahead. Walker's going to try to go around the outside of Chief Chris. Chief Chris closes the door, leaving Walker almost no space on the outside. Coming back at him. Where's Walker going to go? He's going to try to go around the outside once again. Down to the inside. He's going to get the move done. Again, he's going to get the DRS, the detection point. Going into turn 14. Able to get it. Chief Chris using all of his overtake to try to get back at him here. They're going to go side by side through the chicane. And Walker holds the position. Chief Chris thankfully gives it up. We don't have another incident there happening. Granny Boy leads away from the field. Knowing Light trying to close in on the back of Hash on these soft tires. Wondering what his strategy is. Soft, medium, you would assume. These drivers ahead, probably soft, medium, soft. So on Matthew, on the hard tires, can probably go to the end. It will definitely be a risky strategy, but should be able to go to the end here. As McHarry is being overtaken by his teammate and Chief Chris, sliding around all over the place on their hard tires, trying to maintain every position he can. As you see, knowing like closing in every lap on the back of Hash, getting closer and closer. It's gonna have DRS. Hash will not have DRS from Rivas. Rivas starting in P12 on these hard tires, trying an alternate strategy. We'll have to see if it pays off in the end, as he is completely different from everybody else in the field. The only driver to start on the hard tires. Knowing Light unable to get the move done here. Both these drivers with very low ERS at the moment. But Hash is going to do everything he can to defend this position. This is for position. Both these drivers will have to pit again. So Hash is going to try to hold him up as much as humanly possible. Owen Wilson has pit onto hard tires. He is 2-lap-old hard tires. He will be able to get to the end on those tires. So we'll have to see where that Haas driver can get back up into here. You lose about 22 to 23 seconds on pit stops here. So if we look, Rivas Island with his next pit stop would drop him all the way down to P15, right around Owen Wilson's spot. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Currently the biggest movers, Rivas Island has not pit, P7. Prince has not pit, but he is up 15 positions right now for the Renault team, as Rivas Island starting to close in on the back of him. His medium tires of Prince are going to start to be getting to the end of their usable lifespan here. About 14 laps before you start getting into puncture territory. Prince in the Renault is going to be under attack from Rivas this lap as Hash closing in. This is a Constantina going to be closing up on Prince here this lap. We'll have to see who can capitalize on the drivers backing into one another here, as Prince is into the pits. That's going to release Rivas. He will have DRS here for one more second, one more straight here. Down the backstretch, he will not have it anymore, as Tiburon James's ghost pits with Prince. Hash currently over a second behind Rivas, and Granny Boy gets a 3-second time penalty. We have a safety car towards the end of this race that could prove vital to whoever is in P3. Cobalt and Granny Boy both with time penalties right now, but very far ahead of the rest of the runners in the field. Walker has worked his way back up to P7, trying to catch up to Sohan now. Hash does get DRS from Rivas there. Rivas diving way down the inside, trying to break the toe from the Renault driver on an opposite strategy. Be interesting to see how hard Rivas defends against these drivers who are on completely different tires than him. Rivas probably trying to go hard to soft here, you would imagine. Maybe onto the mediums if he can get an opportune VSC. All he needs is an opportune safety car here, and he will be able to make a move. But Knowing Light is all the time. He's right on the back of Hash, trying to find a spot to make an overtake here. Sector 3 is going to be very hard. Unless he can outbrake Hash. Be very risky to go for an overtake here. He has a lot of time to try to make a move. They'll both have to pit again. But Hash will be able to pit onto soft tires. Connor will have to pit onto mediums. So we'll have to see what happens here. Knight Katsy currently in a decent battle back in the field. Trying to find him as he's side by side right now with a Williams of Wilson, trying to find a way to make a move around him. He's going to go wide, trying to get the power down and get back to him early. And Prince is all over the back of Jay Kelly. Jay Kelly is going into the pits here. We'll hop back up front here. Rivas Island, Hash, Knowing Light, P3, P4, P5. These drivers all trying to get past one another here. Connor's tires are going to be starting to go off just a little bit here. 7-lap-old softs. They only go about 9 laps. If these are used set, he might need to pit this lap or the next onto the medium tires to get the maximum effect out of both tires. It would get him out of this train. Let's see where it would probably bring him out. If he were to pit now, it would bring him out right around where Prince and Brogan are. Not ideal, so maybe go one more lap here, but I would potentially pit here. Get yourself back past into open air instead of being stuck behind these two drivers ahead who might not be pitting for a while. Try to pit now. Take advantage of your mediums while you can. Go for that undercut strategy. But the leader's almost with a pit stop gap, currently with a pit stop gap to 6th position. as Rivas somehow still holding this position on those very old hard tires. Walker is now caught up to the back of Sohan. Going to try to get a good exit here. Going to go for an overtake maybe. Not even using overtake. Sohan Matthew not going to fight this too hard. He knows that Walker is a much faster driver, and he's not going to be risky with Walker. He's going to give him the position and just let Walker try to make his pace back up. He knows they're on a different level. Very smart from Sohan. Don't risk holding him up, ruining your race by trying to hold up a faster driver and battle with them. You'll only lose time. But Walker is able to get past. Hash is going to get past Rivas. Rivas must have had a pretty bad exit there. As you see Hash almost out of ERS. You see that red light flashing as Connor is going for a move as well. We didn't even see him, but he came from way back. Rivas' tires must really be starting to struggle right now. As Connor and Rivas can potentially both be pitting onto medium tires here. Rivas holding up very well so far on these hard tires. The alternate strategy looking decent enough for him. Brogan trying to catch the ghost of Tiburon James, but Knowing Light is on the back of Rivas. Rivas is going to try to hang with Hash and get into that DRS zone. Hash is a poor sector there, and it's going to give Rivas just about enough to give him the DRS here down the front stretch. Maybe give him enough to stay ahead of Connor. Oh no, yes, and Connor is in the pits. We were expecting that. Connor is into the pits. We would expect him to be strapping on a set of medium tires here. And the Racing Point in the pit, strapping on the medium tires. Let's see where he comes out. Should be right around Brogan's position. Brogan looking like he's pretty far back. Prince, he's going to get past. The one extra lap on those soft tires cost him about 2 seconds being stuck behind that traffic, and it ended up putting him behind Prince and Brogan instead of potentially ahead of them. Rivas, DRS open, still hanging with Hash right now. Hash is net P3 in this race. So if Hash is P3, he will have to pit again. Walker, his tires have to be getting towards the end of their lifespan. 10-lap-old mediums and 9-lap-old mediums for Hash. See if Rivas Hash can hold off Walker and maybe steal a podium for the Williams driver. The Williams driver doing everything he can to get back right now, though. Hash currently the only driver without a time penalty. 3 seconds for everybody else in the top 5. Safety car is definitely what Hash should be looking for right here. 3 pit stop and closing the pack back up, maybe giving him a steal at second or even first if he gets the safety car at the right time. So we'll hop back. Brogan Morris on the back of McCary here, trying to close up, trying to see what the tires are on actually. Brogan, 3-lap-old newer 3-lap newer hard tires here. Gonna try to take advantage of them. He's running very deep, very aggressive braking here from Brogan. See if he can get a run. He's gonna have the DRS on McCary here, coming down this front stretch. Almost no overtake left though. McCary saves his overtake, and he's gonna have that ERS power to keep him ahead of Brogan. Brogan with almost none left. Shows you why it's very important to manage that ERS, as Knowing Light has already gotten past Prince on these brand new medium tires. He probably will come out ahead of Rivas and Hash as long as these drivers don't hold him up too much. Tiburon James's Ghost, he will have DRS here from the driver ahead. Knowing Light will be one of the drivers to watch here as we close in towards the end of the race. Rivas still on the back of Hash. Hash's tires are going to be starting to fall away along with Rivas's. Rivas just praying for some sort of safety car or VSC. Walker 7 seconds behind the two of them, trying to close up as Granny Boy 10 seconds ahead of Cobalt at the moment. Hash another 10 seconds behind him. McCary and Brogan side by side into the sweeping right. No, Connor just watching this, being held up with every single challenge they try to put on one another. Brogan's going to hold position for the time being as Knowing Light is all over the back of them, trying to find a hole to get through the battle ahead. Brogan out of ERS. Knowing Light really struggling right now. Hash is in the pits. We'll have to see how much Knowing Light was held up here. See if Hash can get out ahead of him. The Renault coming out the pits now. I believe Knowing Light will come out ahead of him. Just about. The Renault coming right out behind Knowing Light. Hash put on medium tires, though. Instead of softs, he might not have had a new set of softs. Those mediums may have been going up just a bit too much there. But now Rivas is going to have to come out behind this whole gaggle of cars. They're going to have to do a lot of overtaking. Hash is already down the inside of Knowing Light. Look at this battle back here. A lot of cars all bunched up right now. Knowing Light using his overtake, trying to get back Hash. Hash is going to try to go around the outside, down, which will become the inside on Brogan. Unpast McCary. Holy cow, Hash, 3 positions at once. Drivers behind, 3 wide. Oh my goodness, they somehow get through it. And Knowing Light still stuck behind Brogan and McCary. Hash got the job done. Knowing Light unable to do so. We'll see Rivas probably going into the pits this lap. That battling behind, Hash was able to get past just in time. And no, Rivas is staying out for one more lap on these hard tires. Very risky strategy. Knowing Light finally gets past McCary. Now it's just Brogan to get past. They won't be side by side. Should be able to find a hole. Didn't see any wing damage. We did see a little bit of contact. But I believe Knowing Light did manage to escape major wing damage there. Can he find a spot to get past Brogan here? Both drivers very low on the ERS. Brogan, we do know, likes to defend these positions. See if Connor can get past Brogan out of ERS. He's going to try to go around the outside, and he's past Brogan in the Haas. And now Knowing Light will have to try to chase down Hash on 2-lap fresher tires. Knowing Walker and Rivas both probably going to be needing to pit here. Maybe get a VSC as an opportune time as McCary is in the pits. A lot of these drivers spaced out decently well. The only major battle, Knowing Light just got past Brogan, it's going to be very hard for Brogan to get back up to Knowing Light. But maybe he can do it. Jay Kelly, actually, and Mike Katze side by side back in the field. Battling out for 14th and 15th. Could end up becoming a point. We've seen a lot of last lap incidents moving some drivers up the field. Jay Kelly and Knight Katze going back and forth. Jay Kelly on the hard tires, Knight Katze on the faster mediums. He's not going to use overtake. He's going to play it very safe here. Knight Katze out of ERS. Jay Kelly with all the ERS in the world, but not able to get the move done. He's going to try to wait till the end, hang on the back of him, take advantage of him towards the end as Rivas Island is into the pits. Walker staying out for one more lap on these medium tires. They won't get to the end, I don't believe. 17 seconds behind the leaders. But currently a pretty large gap to some of the drivers farther back in the field. We'll see if Rivas can get out ahead of Hash and Knowing Light. Gonna come out behind Brogan, behind Prince, and the ghost of Tiburon James. Jay Kelly still on the back of Knight Katze back here. And Ricky Starr, Knight McCary coming out of the pitch just ahead of him. Could have some interesting battles towards the back of the field. Jay Kelly gonna have the DRS and the ERS saved up. Knowing Light now gets a 3-second penalty, so the only driver in the top 10 so on will be able to get to the end on those hard tires, currently in P4 with Walker needing to pit. You'd have to imagine Walker would pit this lap, but the Ferrari is P4 and P5, but Chief Chris will have to pit again. I don't believe he will get to the end on those medium tires. He may just be hoping for a safety car at this point, trying to make everything possible out of this race. Jay Kelly not able to get a good run. Ricky Starr trying to catch McCary, unable to do it right now. But Granny Boy currently leads away from the field on these hard tires, getting the free stop on the safety car. And Walker is into the pits. It's going to put Soha Matthew up into P3 for the time being. No penalties for the Ferrari driver. Hash going to come around the final corner. Chief Chris was into the pits. That was Chief Chris trying to find out what driver was in the pits. Rivas getting past Brogan on these soft tires. He is going to be absolutely rapid around the track for a few laps here on these soft tires. 1.5 behind Knowing Light, who is 2.7 behind Hash. Going to see if they can catch up and maybe make a couple late overtakes here. Walker on these soft tires in P9 as well will be trying to push through the field to get back up to P3 or P4. Sohan going to try to hold that position. I'd imagine probably safe. The tires will fall off towards the end. These drivers behind will have quite a bit of pace. So Walker closes in on the back of Prince. Will he go for the move right here, right now? He's got to make a move every chance he can, and he does. Oh, what a move by Walker. Down the inside on Prince, threading the needle, getting the move done. Prince trying to come back at Walker here, but he's very smart, not going to risk a battle there, not going to risk crashing himself out. He's in very good points right now, is Prince. Brogan on these hard tires, 11 lap old hard tires. Prince, that's Prince's main competition right now. As Rivas closing in on the back of Knowing Light. Knowing Light with a 3-second time penalty along with Rivas. All the drivers currently only 3 seconds. Owen Wilson with 6 seconds of time penalties. 3 seconds for Kronos, 3 for Katsy, and 6 for Jay Kelly right now. Knowing Light is overtaken with ease by Rivas Island there. On these soft tires, 2.6 seconds to try to catch up to Hash. And Walker, and that's a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Kronos. His day just gets even worse. HFM Ethan battling in the back with Draco, trying to get past him, get off the bottom of the grid. Only one DNF today, Purple Catfish, while battling with Hash and his teammate of Draco. The three battling back and forth. Purple Catfish, we didn't catch it, but some sort of incident as Walker gets easily past Brogan there. Brogan not fighting it, knowing he really doesn't have a dog in the fight. Will Rivas, though, be able to get up past Hash and maybe catch Sohan? Sohan, though, with no penalties, looking very good for him. Rivas and Walker have to make the absolute most of these soft tires while they can. But they are definitely the drivers to watch here towards the end of the Grand Prix. Only 4 laps to go. Granny Boy coming through Sector 1. 4.5 laps left to go in this French Grand Prix. Rivas is within DRS range now. Brogan gets another 3 seconds. That's going to be 6 seconds of time penalties for Brogan right now. That's not ideal. That's going to move Prince out of him if Prince can keep a clean slate for the rest of this race. The Renaults, though, both currently in points in their home Grand Prix, as Haas now does get the 3-second time penalty. Not ideal for him, pushing as hard as he can, but he will have 2 warnings he can now use, as Rivas Island is closing in on the back of him, trying to find a way to get past these soft tires with so much more grip right now than the medium tires. The medium tires not that old. Rivas opening the DRS and the overtake. Hash will use all of his as Rivas turns his off. Rivas goes wide. That's probably a warning as Walker goes down the inside of Knowing Light. He's going to get the move done. Knowing Light trying to fight it there. Unable to do it. It's going to cost him valuable time. He's going to fall way back behind Walker, but Brogan Morris with more time penalties back behind. Not much pressure from there. That was Knowing Light's probably the last battle, unless we have a 1-lap safety car or something here crazy towards the end. Rivas now going to have to try to worry about Walker closing in behind. Walker only 2 seconds behind the 2 of them here. Every other driver in the field, other than these soft runners, currently over a second apart. Will Rivas go for the overtake here? Got the DRS. Hash on those medium tires. These softs, a lot more pace. So Walker with a 130.9. A very quick race lap there from Walker. Faster than some people's qualifying laps were in Q1 today. Rivas, though, going to try to make a move here, get up and around and get a better exit than Hash. Hash with a little slippage there, but it's all about this final turn. How early can you get on the power? Hash seems to have gotten a little bit better exit there than Revis. And that's going to let Walker now start attacking Revis. We'll have to see who can get past who first. Kronos with a 130.2 beats Walker's time. Steals it away down in P17. Revis was thinking about an overtake there, unable to get it done. He sees the flashing light from Hash. As Walker trying to close on this pair. Hash doing everything he can to defend this position. Both of them with 3-second time penalties right now. Prince, the next closest driver with that time penalty, down in P9. As Sohan hanging out on these hard tires. The drivers behind battling, but starting to still close in even with all this battling. No penalties, though. Ideal for Sohan. Revis almost loses the car there. Trying to get the power down early. That's going to leave him prone to an attack from Walker here. Walker's going to try to go down the inside of Revis. He's going to go. Revis is just going to let him have the position. Maybe try to follow Walker through when he attacks Hash. Walker, though, trying to do everything he can to get back up onto the podium. I don't think he's going to get it. He's pretty far behind at this point. But it'll be very interesting to see Sohan's tires going off each and every lap. Walker with the overtake enabled, going down to the inside of Hash. Revis going to try to go for a move as well. Very tight racing there. Revis getting run wide by Hash. Any additional penalties? Revis now with 6 seconds of time penalties, 3 seconds for Hash. Very tight racing there. Revis trying to go down the inside, but 3 wide. Very aggressive defending from Hash. We saw a little bit of wing damage potentially come off of Hash's car. Yep, front left wing plate is gone. He has to try to defend this spot for 2 more positions. 3 seconds of time penalties as well as an advantage. Revis Island just trying to stay a 3-second gap to Knowing Light now, as he has 3 seconds of additional penalties. The stewards may look into it. I don't know how he got the penalties, but Revis going to do everything he can here to try to attack Hash. Got to get past him as soon as he can to try to build up a 3-second gap. Walker going to try to close in on Sohan Matthew, but Walker with his penalties going to be very hard for him to get back up in the field and catch up to Sohan. You'd have to clear him by 9 seconds. I don't think that's even possible within 2 laps. It's Hash still with the position on Revis right now. We'll see them coming out onto the second to last lap here. Can Revis finally maybe get the move done? Use DRS and overtake. Gonna go down for the move into the chicane. How far will Hash defend it? He won't. Revis gets the move done before the chicane. Now, can he open up a 3-second gap to Hash? He's got to try to get out of his DRS on this lap. Walker currently 5.6 to Sohan. He may be able to catch Sohan, but he's not going to clear that gap by 3 seconds. Currently, pretty big spacing throughout the field right now as Granny Boy in Sector 1 on the final lap, a 17-second gap to the rest of the field. Cobalt 23 seconds ahead of Sohan, but Sohan with the soft to hard strategy, I believe, able to have an absolutely stunning race for Ferrari and get back on the podium. As long as he can hold it together here, it would be his first podium of the season, his best result of the season. Hopefully he doesn't get a time penalty here, but I believe he should be able to hold off Walker. Revis up to 1.1 seconds ahead of Hash, pushing as hard as he can. 6 seconds time penalty for Walker, 6 seconds for Revis. Prince currently with no time penalties. We'll see what he can do, but all these drivers on very old hard tires shouldn't be in puncture territory, but we'll watch Cobalt come here through the final couple of turns. You hear the fans clapping. The Red Bull, once again, Lewis Hamilton style, another race victory Granny Boy takes the French Grand Prix for Red Bull. Once again, back to back to back to back to back for Granny Boy. And Faber Cobalt is able to hold it together. Another P2, clean, consistent for the Racing Point driver. You can see, very happy with the result around France. P2 for Cobalt. Soham Matthew, coming into the final couple of turns, able to hold off Walker. Even so, no penalties. The highest finishing driver with no penalties. The Ferrari of Sohan is going to come across the line, take a podium position for the Ferrari. Fosi will be very happy about this one. Walker is able to battle back to P4 somehow. And Rivas, P5, Hash up to P5. Knowing Light is able to get past Rivas as well with that 6-second time penalty. Dropping Rivas down the field. Brogan in P8, and Prince, will he move ahead of Brogan? He will. The Renaults, P5 and P8. As Chief Chris comes across the line, it'll be P10 for Chief Chris. Owen Wilson falling down due to his penalties with Knight Katsy in P12. Jay Kelly, P13. Freaky Star, though, with no penalties, able to get up to P12. But in the end, it's Granny Boy with a race victory once again, winning the French Grand Prix, not winning pole, but he is more consistent throughout the race. Walker, some sort of incident, not sure what happened, not going to speculate, but would assume Walker lost it on a curb. But very unfortunate there. Would have been a very exciting race. But like we said, Granny Boy and Cobalt, Mr. and Mrs. Consistency. I mean, there's not much more you can say. Staying out of incidents, staying clear, not pushing their car too hard to where they're losing it, and able to always be there. Solid performances from the both of them. We'll see if we can get post-race interviews from everybody. Walker on very, very upset right now. Knew he had the pace. Knew he had the chances. DTW Kronos with fastest lap, a 1:30.2 for the Alfa Romeo. But overall, a very, very good race. Alternate strategy for Rivas almost paying off, but the time penalties costing him in the end. See if we can get the winning podium drivers in for some interviews here. Well, we meet again. Another P1 from Granny Boy. Not the fastest in qualifying today. Walker with some serious pace. But unfortunately, we didn't catch the incident, but it looks like he may have lost it. But you were there, capitalizing, Mr. Consistency. Solid performance all over. How would you describe your day?
Very well. The Q3 was horrible. I invalidated on turn 3. The tyre just went slightly on the inside and validated it. I got the turn 1 and 2 perfect, and I felt like it was going to be a decent lap, but turn 3 it was a no-go, so I had to invalidate it and go into the pits and see what Walker could have done. But solid performance from Walker in Q3. Good P1. He went wide with me after the DRS straight. After I overtook him, he went wide with me. He went over the curb, and the traction caught him out, and he went into the wall, which is a bit unfortunate. So I felt like that could have been a battle to the end of the race. It was a very good pace. And I think all in all, virtual safety car came out on time for myself to go into the hards, same as Cobalt. I think I made a bit time for him. I think it was 1.5 seconds, but very controlled and race today.
Yeah, no, very good overall. The safety car was perfect. Not many incidents today, so very clean racing throughout. It seemed like from a lot of the drivers. Definitely getting better as the season goes on here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my teammate, I don't know what happened. He said he lagged out. I don't know, made a few collisions. I got hit from behind. I was really up Walker's back, like behind. I couldn't really go anywhere, and the guy was on soft tyres, so I felt like the breaking point might have been a bit different. But I do apologise, and I thought I was going to spin again and probably make myself run through the field off the grid and try and get a podium today. But first place is very achievement.
Well, being that this is that halfway point broadcast, since I won't be able to broadcast round 11, do you feel you can keep your performance up the second half of the season? Do you think you can get more points the second half?
Well, I'm hoping so, mate. I'm hoping so. I mean, like, I just hope Walker and Cobalt can to have a bit more challenge. Like, not more challenge, but Walker showed the challenge today, and I felt sorry for him at the end when he did spin for the traction part. But Cobalt, I don't know what goes on with him in the second half. He sort of just loses his head maybe, and I just gained the time. I was going to pit actually and going to overtake him, but I thought, nah, I'll just go ahead and win it.
trying to go get that fastest lap as well. Stolen away from you by one of those people pitting for softs at the end today.
I know. I
think it was Kronos, but overall, though, good race. 25 points. Can't ask for much more.
No, definitely not. Well, I could have asked for more. My teammate. Could have scored some points today.
Yeah, made it through to Q3 at least.
He did.
Decent, but you're carrying the load so far for Red Bull. Other than one other teammate result, it's all Max Verstappen and some random teammates so far.
Well, I hope you don't leave. I'm hoping to help him out in the next few races and stuff, and I hoping to keep him off the pace in Q3. Yeah,
he's steadily improving. So you guys look like you could be a good team. Hopefully get some team results here in the future as well. Thanks for talking to us. So.
Thank you very much, Austin. Take it easy.
All right, you as well, Granny Moore. See ya.
Cheers. Bye.
And P2 once again. We described Granny Boy as Mr. Consistency, so I guess that would make you Mrs. Consistency. P2, solid performance overall. You were hanging with him there at the start through the first stint, but the second stint just started fading a little bit. But overall, very good result from you. How'd you feel you did today?
I felt pretty good in the first stint. Second stint, I just figured there was a 5-second gap and there's no point in me pushing, burning my tires up, so I was just relaxing, enjoying my time on the track.
Hey, well, overall, very good result. Potentially could have pit onto softs, gone for a fastest lap maybe towards the end, but you were just taking it easy, don't want to risk anything in P2. Like we said, consistency is key, and it's another P2 from you. Knowing Light did pretty well as well today, getting up, I think, to P6 in the end, is what the standings said, barring any disputes or anything. But good team result today here for the two of you.
Yeah. Help us in the constructors. We might not win, none of us, either of us might not win the drivers, but we'll try to go for the constructors and see what happens. Yeah,
definitely want to see competing. At least you're P2 in the drivers right now as well, pulling a little bit more of a gap to Walker. So solid performance from you and the team.
Yeah, it's just that. It was just unfortunate bits for Walker just spinning it.
Oh, yeah.
On a corner that you really don't know. We were talking about earlier how that's a weird corner to spin on, but it's whatever. The games to start was just a little chaotic and whatever. I didn't even see I just saw two Mercedes just spinning right in front of me.
Oh, jeez.
I saw one rear end, another one, and then another one spinning in front of me. So.
Yeah, the race start looked a little bit glitchy from our end, so we couldn't really tell what was going on. like we saw Tibro and James take off, but I mean, you guys handled your cool up there, did what you needed to, and got the P2. So it's on to Austria. How you feel about the quickest circuit on the calendar?
Not bad. Feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
A lot of overtaking opportunities, a lot of DRS straights too. Probably half the circuit's DRS, so.
Yeah, I'm probably like 75% of the track is DRS.
So it'll be very interesting to see. But good luck in Austria. How do you feel? Oh, as well. Well, I'd ask Granny Boy this because I'm not going to be there for the round 11. But how do you feel you did in the first half of the season, and do you think you can improve the second half?
First half, I feel pretty good about it. I feel like I could improve a little bit more, but go still try to win a race, but that's really...
Hey, you're getting there. You've had a few close ones, so it'll be
Canada
very interesting.
was just unlucky, just entering the pit lane while it was raining on slick tires. Just cars like, brakes? No.
Yeah, you just
slowing down
hydroplaned right across.
Just
yeah.
5 seconds, so that really hurt me. But otherwise,
yeah. I mean, good overall through the whole first half. Hopefully, we can see you get that elusive race win, maybe even 2 in the second half. So, good luck to you, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Thank Cobalt. See ya.